sometimes it's fine.
We're streaming. What's up, y'all?
Woo! Redneck noise.
And I will go ahead and tweeter this thing out. Receiving your content. Your audience will see it in a moment. Perfect. Let's tweet. Tweet-a-lee-a-lee, tweet. Tweet-a-lee-a-lee. PETM 206 is live. Another PhD ceremony with Sydney Lett. There we go. Sent out. And I'll tell you what's crazy. On a Mac, the scroll is the opposite direction. So I can't get my scroll wheel down right.
Oh, shit. It's reverse?
Yeah, it's reverse.
50% is always the worst thing. Like, there's only two options.
Yeah.
It's so hard to remember
wrong.
how to do it right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
What's up, Freddie?
When it's one thing or the other thing,
yeah.
it's always...
It's like which way the
hard.
USB
like
goes.
If there's four things,
yeah,
variables that are different,
right.
I remember
right.
every time what the right thing to do is. But when it's 50-50,
you just don't know. You just go until you do the wrong thing. Y'all, when I started my new job, I was talking with Sherwin earlier, we all have Apple computers, Macs, at work. And it's my first time being in a workplace where you use a Mac. And so the scroll wheel on your mouse, the scroll wheel thing, it's opposite on a Mac. I think their whole idea is it like feels like you are grabbing the page and pushing it up.
Oh,
whereas
as opposed to
on a Windows,
you're actually pushing the bar down.
Right. So on a Mac, it's as if if you go up, you're moving the page down because it feels like it's almost like a yoke on a airplane or something. Pull back to go up or pull down to go up, push forward to go whatever.
It's like having rear steer on a lawnmower or something.
Yeah.
Like it just you got to get used to it.
Yeah. Well, the problem is then you go back to steering your normal thing. So here I am on this computer that we do the podcast on, and I'm all over the place. I'm trying to scroll up, scroll down. I can't freaking figure it out. Sarah, your MacBook, and you say, "Hey, awesome."
Sydney says she's kind of fighting traffic, so
it's all good. Sydney's going to be calling in here in a moment, y'all.
5 more minutes, so we're going to entertain you guys while we can.
We're going to have some fun.
So what I wanted to bring up is, and I put this on Twitter, is I listened to Maynard Keenan on Joe Rogan's podcast. Man, that dude's cool. I never have liked Tool's music. I won't belittle it.
Oh, that dude
but he is like some kind of a rock star in terms of all the things he's got his hands in.
You know what's wild is, do you know how he does in concert? What he does in concert?
Right, he kind of stands over on the other side of the
stage. He goes and stands in the corner. And he may turn around, put his back to the audience.
I've heard of that.
And I've been to a Tool concert, and this was surprising me. I knew he was weird, quote unquote, like not what you expect out of a concert. But he's not a front man. He just walks over to the back, stands there, turns the other way, and belts out the music.
Yeah.
And belts out the lyrics while the rest of the band's just sitting there playing their thing, and it's this light show and all this stuff, and no encore. Like as soon as they're done and they walk off stage, lights come up and everybody leaves.
You're out.
Yeah. It's
a
weird.
And the thing is, when you get him,
I interrupted you on.
No, you're fine.
But
you're fine, because you've actually seen it and you actually enjoy the music.
Freaking weird. I wouldn't say like I'm a fan, but I'll go to the concert and I like the music just fine. I don't hate it.
Right. And we know, I knew that before about him.
Yeah.
The way
my wife's a fan.
Has a very introverted approach to giving a live concert. But when you get him in a long form conversation, he has a ton of things to say.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very introspective.
Yeah. And he's got his wine business, right? Doesn't he have a big wine thing?
He's got a greenhouse where he grows all his own food. Like,
I believe it.
I mean,
he's just like rock star weird.
He's fixing to start a jiu-jitsu studio. He already owns a yoga studio. And Rogan's like, what the hell? He's like, I thought I did a lot of stuff until I met you.
Yeah. I'll say this. The one thing about him doing that style in like music videos and in the concerts and stuff, if he walked in this door right now, I wouldn't recognize who he is. Necessarily. I mean, I know what he looks like, but it would be kind of a double take thing just because he's not a front man like a Freddie Mercury or something, Like Freddie Mercury walks in the door. Well, first of all, you'd be like,
takes his
holy
shirt
crap.
off. Like, I mean, maybe that's where Bert Kreischer got his inspiration. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, exactly. I mean, most front men for bands are right out front center. who the front man is, unless he's the drummer, and then he's offset a little bit, which happens. We know that Phil Collins and Dave Grohl has now become a front man after having been a drummer on Nirvana, but Don Henley was the front man for the Eagles for years while he was still the drummer.
Yeah. It's no, that's wild. He's a cool. You know what? He's doing it his way. Everybody else says the front man has to be up front, and he's like, "Well, watch this. I'm going to do this because this is the way I like to do it." But, I don't know. I like Tool.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're fine. I've celebrated their entire collection before, as I do. Let's see. That's my Apple experience. Oh, 2E's in college. That's funny, Roger. Yep. You know what's funny is, we had 2E's, but I think, this is age difference stuff. That was in like middle school for us. So I guess that's probably about accurate on age difference that I'm aware of with us and Roger. Or we were just a really poor school district, and we should have had nicer computers, but we didn't. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, we had a Mac in our house.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
My parents bought a Mac in 1989, so I learned how to play. I learned how to use a mouse because we had a Mac.
Oh yeah.
Because PC didn't have a mouse for like another 5 years.
Right. Yeah. And apparently Apple or Mac or whatever took that from Xerox. Xerox was the first personal computer, like the copy machine place, to have a mouse.
Yeah, that's
my understanding.
I mean, have you heard about the backstory behind IBM and what their first major moneymaker was?
No, what was it?
It was the catalog system for Nazis catalog.
Oh, jeez.
Jews.
Oh, jeez. I shouldn't even laugh. It's just more like, good Lord. Of course it was.
Yeah. Like somebody had to do it. It's how they
like the international business machine?
Everybody's number on
yeah.
Like IBM was the mechanics behind creating that system.
Computers ran on like horses and stuff back then, too.
It was really just a glorified machine that you cranked a hammer and numbers turned.
Yeah. Jeez. I mean, you don't know.
They've been trying to live that down for 100 years.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Wow. No, I did not know that. Oh man. What was the last company I worked for? I'm going to make fun of them a little bit here. No, I'm not going to. Maybe a little bit. So it was based out of Jerusalem, and one Christmas. So this is funny because it's Christmas and it's mostly a Jewish company. But you know what? I'll give it to them. They were trying to reach out to the Americans in the company, and they were saying Merry Christmas, and there was a quote from Henry Ford, and I was like, Henry Ford was a famously anti-Semitic, right? Like that's a little
okay. Like Walt Disney. It's
right. What are you going to do at this point? But geez,
and obviously we're not trying to make light of anyone who has Jewish heritage. That's not what we're doing here.
No,
we're telling jokes just like a comedian would. We're talking about things very lighthearted. We don't share any of those values.
No, so it was one of those like, all right, well, cool. You like the quote. Maybe you don't know about Henry Ford. It's all good. Blah blah.
Yeah. Well, I got berated over the course of the last 2 days by somebody because I posted the Shovel Girl GIF.
Oh, really?
They're like,
I
don't think it's very cool that you take violence on girls and somebody hitting their head.
Listen.
I'm like, no. Like, you need to understand for a second. Yeah. Posting GIFs that have existed for 5 years.
Oh, that's
10, comedy.
Probably.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. We're not talking about thinking it's funny that somebody got hurt.
Right.
But the situation is kind of hilarious.
Oh, it's the funniest thing y'all ever seen. Oh my gosh. These two white trash girls.
So I don't know who Diana Bodine is, but she's not happy about it, and I don't care.
Well, that's a last name that I respect. I don't know if
she don't follow us, so why should I care?
But seriously, though, this is it's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. Listen, this has nothing to do with women or anybody else. Both those girls deserve that. just the trashiest. Hey, guess what? Somebody's calling us before we have to go answer to this one. Oh, we're going to answer that call. Is that Miss Sydney Lett on the phone?
It is. What's up, you guys?
What's happening?
Hey.
Oh, my gosh. Things are crazy. I mean, you guys know me. There's never a dull moment in this world.
We know it. So where on earth are you right now?
So I'm actually back in my hometown in Des Moines, Iowa right now.
Okay.
I had to come up for some family stuff, like super randomly and on short notice. So I'm here, like, at my favorite coffee shop. I used to, like, write all my songs out when I was 12, so it's kind of bittersweet, kind of cool.
What's the name
but,
of
yeah.
it? Is it like a local shop, or is it Starbucks or something?
Oh, no, it's called Smoky Row Coffee Shop, and it's like, if any of you are ever in Des Moines, like, check it out. It's my favorite place ever. I actually filmed one of my music videos at one of the other locations in a really small town, so it's become, like, whenever I'm home, this is my go-to place. It's the best.
Okay. Awesome. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, we are fixing to go. We're live on YouTube already, so everybody can hear you and see you and everything else. Well, not see you, but, kind of see you, because I do have your picture on there. But,
Sweet.
We're about ready to get started. You know how we start the things, so we'll get it started that way and everything.
Okay. Sounds good.
Everybody.
That's right. That's right. You know what the theme song is and how we do that. As a
Yay!
Sherwin told me that we have about 45 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. I will keep an eye on the clock and make sure that we stick to that. And I'll kind of give Sherwin the signals and stuff as we normally do, and then we'll be off from there. One thing that I know it's been a little while since you've been on. We may disappear for about 60 to 90 seconds while other you is singing in the background.
Okay, awesome.
So while that's happening, the folks will be able to hear you. So if you're like, hello, I can't hear you anymore, they'll be able to hear you.
I'll mute myself because we all know I'm blonde and we all know that will definitely happen, even though you've already told me that it's going to happen. So, yeah.
Well, you can sing along, too, if you hear it. That's fine, too.
Yay! There'll be like a delay, though. That'll be weird.
Let's see. So, B says, Rusty, volume bounce is a little off on our end. Sydney is loud, but you and Andrew are quiet. Beast, thank you very much for that feedback, and I will fix it on the fly because that's how I do it.
That's how we do it.
But I appreciate that, and I will monitor that. That's good feedback to have. I appreciate that.
Normally, I'm told to be quieter.
Nah, not on this show. I can adjust, you can start screaming and yelling. And I'll be able to adjust that. Let's see here. So with that, Sydney, we'll disappear for a couple minutes. You ready to roll?
I'm ready.
All right, Sherwin, you ready?
Yes, very much.
All right, here goes nothing. We're recording now.
Yay.
Charlotte, it's an way NASCAR. Revving engines get to roaring, fans are screaming, drinks are pouring.
Number 206. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. I'm Sergeant Mayor Russell Lawson. I'm in the PhD podcast studio. Pre-game engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, dude?
Hey, man, we got queued up a tribute to the ladies today as a part of some of our segments.
That's right. Before we do that, y'all know what the deal is. This podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. You go to patreon.com/PTM and join the Watch Drink Club for as little as $1 a month and get your free koozie. Best part is, every cent in 2019, we're donating to sponsoring drivers. So join the PTM Plus today. Be a part of the sport you love. This week's show is brought to you by our official sponsors at the $5 and up per month level. Those are Laura Henshire, Aaron Bearden, Robert Kaplinger, Coleman McClain, Mayor Kepner, Ryan Kiefer, Patrick Cleary, Jeff Brown, Brandon Carl. Oh, I'm going to have to pause. Here we go. Kathleen McDonald, Stacey Wright, Brandon Carl, Rika Porter, Jump Bob, Les Miller, Tommy Witt, Julie Bozzi, John Pearson, Eddie Greer III, Young Motorsports, David Mullins, Patrick Johnson, Brent Morris, Crystal Smoke, Fred Rosado, Chad Knappett, Stacey Coleman, Matthew Camper, Lisa Chanana, Rick Houston, Todd Oliver, and Sarah and Bari. I had the tongue twister. There's a tongue twister in the middle of that.
That's a hell of a good list.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's
and
very
welcome
impressive.
Todd and Sarah there. being the last couple to join because they've been super responsive on the Twitter.
Well, let me also throw this at you. I have been negligent in getting the swag out to folks. Y'all hang tight with me just for another couple days, and I'm going to reach out. We'll get you all the stuff. Speaking of swag, Sherwin, normally if Sherwin walks in and he's wearing the same shirt as I am, I will go change. And, y'all, this happens way too often, more often than I'd like to admit right now, because he'll walk in and it's like, oh, crap, Jesse Iwuji shirt, or oh, crap, Sterling Marlin shirt, or Rusty Wild. I mean, we've got too many shirts alike because every time we buy a shirt, we buy each other one, and they're like, hey, hey, cool shirts, blah, blah, blah. So today, I knew that Sherwin would probably be wearing the same shirt I did, and I'm like, I ain't changing, because, y'all, these shirts are the Jorgensen Racing shirts right here. Taylor and Jensen on this one. And y'all, left sleeve, I'm getting goosebumps. Y'all look at it. PTM on the sleeve, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I can't get it to get straight.
This is super cool. So this shirt is on sale right now. We are going to figure out a little bit of something. Those who have been with us on Patreon for a long time, hang in there. And we're going to figure something out with this and be able to take care of y'all, if you will. But super excited about these shirts. But Sherwin, it's time to bring on our guest. Our guest tonight. She kicks off every show. She talks before we do.
That's right. That's right.
Every time. She's the first voice you hear singing We Are NASCAR. And we're so humbled to be able to use that song and so grateful to have her as a friend and have friends like her. We want to welcome back to the show Nashville recording artist, NASCAR fan, dirt racer, and gearhead on Twitter at Sydney Lett. It's Sydney Lett. What's up, Sydney?
Hey, how are you guys?
We are doing awesome. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's nice weather here in Atlanta, although we get the occasional summer.
Got our classic
the nothing that comes through.
Right, afternoon thunderstorm.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's Georgia, man. I learned that. I definitely learned that hanging out there, but.
Well, Sydney, you know the way we start this show off every time. Well, we know where you're at, so I'm going to make a guess here. But tell us what you're drinking on tonight.
I'm drinking a Sweet Georgia Brown, actually, latte from Smoky Row Coffee House in Des Moines.
Sweet Georgia
Brown. I figured
Brown.
It's fitting since y'all are in Georgia, I decided to get the one Georgia inspired drink.
You know, normally it's Sherwin who ties the place with the drink and everything, and he's really creative about that. The fact that you've done that, I mean, it speaks to our heart. That is so awesome.
Oh, well, you know I love you guys. You know I tried.
Well, and one of our oldest breweries here in Atlanta actually has a beer called Sweet Georgia Brown.
When she said Sweet Georgia Brown, I'm like, there ain't no way. If she's drinking Sweet Georgia Brown, I'll eat my hat. I love it.
Nah, it's coffee.
Well, you got to stay awake somehow, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We just drove 16 hours yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
Drive another 16 hours tomorrow. Yeah.
No.
My little cousin wanted to come visit, and he's scared of planes, and so we drove to get him.
Well, you're going to have to cure him of that.
Right. I think there's dosages.
Because that's a 2-hour plane ride versus 16 hours in the car.
There's drugs that can handle that. Speaking of drugs, Sherwin, what are we drinking on tonight?
We are drinking a drug called ethanol.
Yes, sir.
And so I've got a Jim Beam and White Claw lime, a little mixture going on over here. We've got some moonshine cherries, which are fun.
Those are delicious. And I just got a new shipment in of the beer of the month, and we've got some Tommy Knocker IPA. I don't know where. Mountain Town Craft Beer. I don't know where this is from.
Tommy Knocker's probably Maine, right?
Idaho. No, Idaho Springs,
Couldn't
Colorado.
have possibly been more wrong.
And then this other one from Baltimore, Maryland, Ducklaw Brewing. So that should hold us over for the next.
Ducklaw. That's like that's that weird thing that buck deers have where you see when you see a really big imprint and there's the 2 marks for the hooves. And then you see the 3rd mark. Okay. That means you've got a big, heavy deer.
You've got a duck claw.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we all learned something today. Hopefully we're going to laugh a little bit.
We did.
Sydney, tell us what's new in the life of Sydney Lett. What's going on?
Oh, my goodness. There's so much. But, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about any of it, which really sucks because I feel like you guys are my family, and I want to just, let everything out of the bag right now. I think, Andrew, I told you a little bit about what was going on, so I think you guys know. And I want to tell everybody so bad. Oh, it's so crazy. So I was supposed to audition for The Voice in Atlanta, this last weekend and had a bigger opportunity come out that would have not allowed me to, one, really be working with NBC, and I also can't really be under contract with anything because I'm going to be signing other contracts with some other things going on, which I know is like super vague for all of those that don't know what's going on, but I promise it's cool, and I promise if you're a NASCAR fan, you'll be insanely excited. So that's all I can say right now, but I am beyond thrilled.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's so much exposure opportunity and everything else going on. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Y'all be following along with Sydney Lett. There's super cool things coming up soon.
You know something cool's coming along if you're turning down a chance to audition for The Voice.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a big deal.
Crazy.
Kind of a big deal.
It was funny. Like, it was. And, like, we talked about, like, Chrissy Newman and Ryan Newman were the ones that were like, you need to audition for The Voice. Like, we'll go to L.A. and be in your little corner or whatever. Like, we want you to do it. And so I promised them, I was like, okay, like, I will. Right now, Ryan's babysitting Audrey, my Mustang. So I'm like, all right, like, if I don't want him to key my car, I'm going to have to listen to him. Like, Chrissy was like, you have to, like, it's a big shot for you. Chrissy's, like, my big sister. Like, she's my life coach and my best friend, like, all in one. But she really thought I needed to try out. So I was like, all right, I promise I'm going to do it. Like, had my song picked out, had everything ready to go. And I called my manager, and she was like, okay, like, yeah, we could, we can make it happen. And my producer was a little on the fence about it, and he's like, we started talking about it, and literally, like, I think it was 3 hours before I was supposed to leave for my show in Cookeville, Tennessee, and then I was leaving straight from Cookeville to go to Atlanta. I, like, got the phone call that something else was going on, and I was like, crap, all right, now I gotta change direction again. But you guys know me, I'm literally, like, I don't ever stay in one place for too long. Nothing ever ends up being what I think it will be, but in a good way.
I'll tell you this much. As far as I know, you mentioned keying your car. Keying your car specifically is like a capital offense in about 34 countries.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Right? I would kill him. He knows that. He knows that I would,
Yeah, yeah.
I know where his car collection is, too. So if anything were to happen to my car, I can get revenge. I got leverage. We're good.
So for the folks that are relatively new to our show, tell them what kind of car you're talking about.
Oh, I have a 1966 Ford Mustang, 25,000 original miles on her.
No.
All my numbers match. Yeah, she's my baby. We're actually getting ready to paint her, though. I'll just send you guys the color. Because, like, my boyfriend Dalton, he works in NASCAR and racing, and he does a lot of paint and body work for, speaking of race cars. There goes one now.
I hear it. That's awesome.
You hear it in the background. Perfect timing. But he does a lot of the NASCAR Cup cars, and he does a bunch of racing series. And he stole me a red paint sample from one of the, I don't know which car it was, but it's just like really pretty, like cherry red, and do a matte black stripe on it. So I think we're going to start tearing her apart and kind of making her more Sidlet, which I don't know. Some people might hate me for that, for changing her, but she's my baby. I think she needs to be a little more sassy.
Well, I like the white very much, but I like that you want to add your own personality to it. And just to add a little anecdotal piece of information to those that are paying attention and NASCAR fans and whatnot, there are still cars that get painted, like Jimmy Johnson's backup car that Alex Bowman used. The reason why they were able to turn it around so fast is because the decals on his car are the only decals on his car. It's a black car that they paint. It's not a wrap. They didn't have to tear a wrap off and rewrap it.
Yeah, yeah. Sydney,
exactly.
You said, so I knew this before, but it only just hit me. So your boyfriend's name is Dalton. Do people ever ask him, I thought you'd be taller?
I thought you'd be bigger.
I thought you'd be bigger.
Oh, my gosh. I think everyone assumes that, like, I'm taller. So they think that when they see pictures of us that me and him are taller, but I don't know.
Well, you know what that reference is, right?
Roadhouse.
Oh yeah, there you go. All right, so you're in the club. You are definitely in the club.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my. It was funny because like he would make comments about it all the time, and then I don't know, like for the longest time I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, Roadhouse? Have you not seen that movie? And at the time I hadn't. Like we were dating for like 2 months, and I was like, no, I've never seen it. Like I don't know what you're talking about. They'd make all these comments, and I just thought he was crazy. I'm like, why are you acting like you're not a tough guy right now? Like, what are you doing? Finally, like I watched it. I was like, oh, okay, all right, it makes sense now.
2 weeks ago.
Can't play my blonde card all the time.
2 weeks ago, we were at the lake, and there were 3 couples there, and I don't have any kids, but the other 2 couples both have 2 kids. and the ages range from, I believe, maybe 5 to 9? Question mark. I should know this. They're really good friends of mine, but yeah,
Clark and Waylon.
Yeah, Clark and Waylon. And Roadhouse was on TV, y'all. And so you get kind of the slightly muted version, like they're not going to show the naked stuff and they're not going to say cuss words, which I don't think there's very many cuss words in it. But
oh man.
But they do show the scene like where he rips his throat out and all that stuff. And so the kids, the parents are like, maybe we should put the kids. I'm like, no, the kids stay. We are watching Roadhouse.
Yeah, this needs to be understood. I don't remember there being a whole lot of really foul language.
Right.
But, I mean, if you're going to show him rip the guy's throat out, why can't you show the boobs? I don't get that.
Yeah.
Americans are weird.
I'll say this.
Americans are weird. I second that.
2 quotes that I use all the time from that one. Sherwin, I mean, you know one of them. We'll say somebody will be getting old. Like Jimmy Johnson. Well, Jimmy Johnson's getting old, Sherwin.
Well, he's still the best.
Right. Wade Garrett's getting old. Wade Garrett's still the best. The other one that I use all the time, this is, I use this at like career fairs and stuff. So I'll go to a career fair. Y'all, I'm in computer, I'm in software, right? And so there's these software nerds that come up and they're 21 years old. Roadhouse is like 2 generations away from where they're at right now, right? And they'll come up and they'll say, "Hello, sir," and I'll go, "Calling me sir's like putting an elevator in an outhouse."
Oh yeah, Vern or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Uncle, what was
That's
his?
like
I
the
can't
one
remember.
quote I remember.
Oh man.
Well, while we're on this topic in this era of movies, so the shirt that I took off to put this one on was my Maverick and Goose Bring Back That Lovin' Feelin' shirt that I bought. And I was wearing it because I had forgotten for a half a minute that I had this Jorgensen Racing shirt because last week they released the Top Gun 2 trailer.
Did we talk about that last week?
I don't know if we did or not, but I'm so excited.
Sydney, have you seen the trailer?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was funny because like I think it came out and me and Dalton were driving down the road and he like pulled the truck over and he's like, "Oh my god, look!" And like we both just stopped what we were doing. Like I think I even put down my latte for like a good 2.5 minutes. Like I didn't even pay attention to it. I was crying. I was borderline crying.
Here's the thing.
I'm so excited. Like it. Oh yeah, the tears are real.
Here's the thing. Like with as many horrific sequels and reboots that Hollywood has done lately, right? I went into this trailer so skeptic,
with
like,
bated breath.
Okay, whatever. All right, let's see this. I think it was like a 2-minute trailer. I'm getting goosebumps telling this story. As I'm watching it, I'm just sitting there. I'm with Sydney. I'm like, yeah, come on.
I watched Top Gun that night. Like, I had to.
Oh,
great call.
Yeah.
Man, I
have it on my Amazon. Like it'll live forever. I can stream it whenever I want.
I am so pumped now
amazing.
For that movie. I really hope it looks like I saw a few detractors that were like, I don't know, man. It looks the same as the first movie. Perfect. Do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I want shirtless dudes
amazing.
high-fiving each other over the top and miss the top, hit the bottom. Looks like they were playing football instead of volleyball this time. I got to see all that stuff with planes, and I got to see the motorcycle chasing the plane, and I got to like high-five my buddies when stuff happens. Come on.
Oh, yeah. And so that movie was made in 1986, and then in 1990 is when the racing version of Top Gun came out.
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, all right, so in 3 or 4 more years, are we going to get Days of Thunder 2, Trickle?
Sherwin, Tom Cruise is getting old.
He's still the best.
There you go.
He still looks great.
That's objectively speaking, too. I mean, good for Tom. The Scientology stuff is really working out for him.
Hey, however you do it's how you do it. But I appreciate the movies.
Yeah. Sydney, tell us about. I'm just going to completely switch
I think we
topics
just derailed the whole podcast.
We go too far in. Have you had shows recently?
I feel like we always do that. We love you.
Have you had shows recently? Like, have you been touring at all or been in place? What you been up to singing wise lately?
I have. So I play a lot in like the Morrisville, like Statesville, Charlotte area. And then I just played at a brewing company in Cookeville, Tennessee last weekend. And it was crazy because we ended up, like, I walked in and I didn't really, I haven't played there a lot. And I walked in and I was like, huh, okay, all right, there's a lot of people here. And, like, there was, like, probably, like, a table of, like, 8 or 12 people. And they were like, oh, my gosh, you're Sydney. Like, we've been waiting, like, the last hour for you. And, like, all these people were freaking out. And it was so cool. Like, I didn't even, like, I don't know people there, really. I mean, it's, like, an hour outside of Nashville. So I know, obviously, people there. But it was pretty exciting. I was like, all right. So, like, people actually showed up. People were here to listen to me. They know my songs. That's a start. We're getting there.
Well, that's so here's another little piece of anecdotal evidence for those who wonder what Cookeville, Tennessee is. That's where Middle Tennessee State University is.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have been able to pick that out.
So. I only know that because of the liberal redneck guys.
Where do you have some dates coming up, or are you still doing some more stuff there?
So I'm trying to think of, my schedule is all over the place. I think I go back home and I'm playing Statesville. I think I've got a few gigs just kind of like in our little downtown area. And then I'm trying to think of where the heck I go after that. It's so crazy. Like, people will call me and be like, hey, you got a show here tonight, or you're going here. And I'm like, oh, cool. I literally don't write anything down. I'll be in Mississippi the end of September for the Mississippi Songwriter Festival. I do that every year. I missed last year, which sucks. But I'm there, hanging with, there's like a little crew of Nashville songwriters and then like the locals that all get together, and it's like 3 days of us just playing all the local bars and restaurants and stuff, and we have like guitar pools, which is basically we just pass the guitar around and like play each other's songs we've written. So I'm pretty excited for that. That's my next like kind of traveling out of town gig. So the next couple of months I've been all over the place the last few months, so I got 2 months of kind of downtime, I guess, to recharge and just hang, I guess.
That sounds a lot like what Chris Shiflett does. And I don't know if you know who that is, Sydney.
I don't think so.
He's the lead guitar player for the Foo Fighters, but in his personal time, he is a country/Americana single artist.
What?
And he does a lot of that
so
sort
cool.
of
I'm
stuff.
Yeah. Well, Sydney needs to hook up with
so
him
cool.
on like a
Clearly, they need
something.
to do something together.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm so down.
So, Sydney, you're like our in, because we know you rub elbows with all the cool kids. What's the last gathering that you're allowed to tell us about, or that is safe for consumption with the drivers and stuff?
Are you talking like my music buddies or my NASCAR buddies?
I was going NASCAR, but if you've got a story about the music
NASCAR?
buddies, I'm in.
Oh gosh, I feel like I can't talk about them.
you can give us a tease, right?
So many, but they put all of them in not I'm not going to say compromising situations, but there's I'll talk about one that wasn't. I'm not going to name names in it because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But
it rhymes with Brian Laney, right? Sorry, no.
What did you say?
I said it rhymes with Brian Laney, right? No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
I didn't hear that. What was that?
I was just joking.
2 strikes and you're out.
Yeah, I'm done there.
I literally didn't hear you. No, so there was a couple of years ago, a group of my friends and I, they took me out for, okay, my mom's listening on the other side. She said what you said, so now, yeah, I'm not going to confirm or deny that statement. We were all, oh, God. No, they all decided, I was in a kind of tough relationship with somebody. I won't name names, but everyone who knows me knows. And I was just, being my sad, well, depressed in a horrible relationship self. And my friends got tickets to the Zac Brown Band concert, and they were like, hey, you're going with us. We're taking you out. It was, I think 2 nights before I turned 21. So it would have been almost 2 years ago. And so they took me out there. And we'll just say a few of the people that you are wanting stories about were absolutely insane that night. Just looking for rain ponchos, even though it wasn't raining, just so they could run around and spin in them. They started a train through, the front part of, the little, I don't even know it was at PNC, and they were trying to start a train through the people, and people were recognizing these said people and getting really uncomfortable about what things they were doing, and I poured out a Miller Lite that a said person bought for me because I don't drink Miller Lite, and that started a whole thing. You don't do that, apparently, when, Yeah, there's so many. I wish I could. I'll have to tell you guys these stories off the record because I would literally get so many horrible phone calls if I talked about them here.
It's all good.
I mean, it's so bad.
Ask your mom
I love my boys too much. What?
Ask your mom how moist the muffins at the coffee shop you're at
Lord
are.
have mercy.
My God.
P.O., she's going to hang up on us already.
I'm sorry. I have to go. I love you guys. Bye.
We're only halfway to our requisite time here. Come on, Sherwin, work with us. We got to offend her at the end.
Her mom thinks it's hilarious. It's fine.
Oh, my gosh. We had a scotcheroo, and it wasn't moist at all, but it had chocolate in it.
I'm going to clip that part, and that'll be like the...
yeah, that'll be like the poster.
Teaser or whatever, yeah. Now, Sydney, we're bringing you on here and putting you on the spot because we got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, no. What did I do?
Well, pretty egregious offense here.
I know it's what I did. I know what it is now.
Whether you know it or not, Dixie Motor Speedway is our local track.
Oh, you guys were that close. I tried to call you, and it went right to voicemail, and I tried to call you. And, I went back. I need to send you a screenshot of it because you don't believe me, but I didn't have any phone service at the track. But I remembered that, right as we were leaving, I was like, wait, I think this is a lot closer than I thought it was.
Well, Sherwin, the egg is on our face then. Evidently, my crappy service at my house is at fault here, not Sydney.
Well, thank you very much for reaching out. We saw you there and we went, huh. Now, we're not the types to be offended. So this isn't a real bone to pick. It is a Sherwin and Russie PTM. We're having fun bone to pick. But no, that's
exactly.
How did have you been there before?
I hadn't. So I knew that Chase Elliott and Bill used to be out there all the time. So I knew about it because of them. But I'd never been there before. So it was, oh my God, it was amazing. The racing was great for one. I just wanted to be in a car on the track though. I haven't been in a car in a while, so I was definitely twitching. I'm like, come on, get me out there. And of course, Dalton was like, you're a girl. You can't drive one. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't.
So then I had to fight him, and it got, it got bad.
Words. Yeah, that's that don't even make sense. Tell him Haley Deegan and drop the mic. We're done.
Oh God, I can never be as cool as her. Maybe I can get some tips from her though, because I don't know. I have a lot to learn.
Well, there's something about Dixie, Sherwin. I think it's that red Georgia clay is what it is. I've been to a few other dirt tracks and stuff, but my truck shows Dixie for the next 6 months that you're there because it's slinging the mud up on you and stuff. Mm-hmm. My truck and the truck bed will it'll go through 3 or 4 washes, and still you'll see the red in the bed of the truck.
Oh, it
on
slings
the spray and bed line.
Little buckshot-sized boogers of clay at you.
Yeah. And that stuff don't come off. So, ask me how I know.
Wear black when you go.
I totally know how that goes. Oh, yeah. I made the mistake of I wore, light-colored jeans. We went to Waffle House after. It was funny because, we went with Dalton's best friend Brandon and his wife and their 3-month-old baby girl. They took her for her first dirt race, which she slept through. So all of our hopes of her being the next Danica, probably aren't actually going to come true now. But we walked into, the Waffle House bathroom after we left, and I literally scraped mud off my face. I looked so tan. I was like, this is great. I don't even want to wash my face. I look way better now than I'll ever look ever again. But, of course, I had to.
Get the redneck makeup going on. I dig it.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Cheaper than CoverGirl, and it's way more fun. I love it.
So we're going to move on.
I can sell that.
We're going to move over to the Ask PTM questions. We got a few questions for you that came in. And we want to make sure we get them in before the time is up here. So for those of y'all that are waiting on us to talk NASCAR, we'll do it here in a minute. But, bear with us. We got Sydney Lett on the phone. This is awesome. Sarah Russell, at SARA__Russell, she sent this, I don't know whether we call it lightning round or just ton of questions. It's kind of like...
And she's Sarah Ann Barry on the YouTube.
Yes.
That's the same person.
Yes. And one of the official sponsors. So thank you, Sarah. With that, so first off, Sydney, when are you performing in Austin so that Sarah can fangirl?
Oh my gosh. We're actually working on trying to get some dates in Texas booked because I have a bunch of friends that live in that area. I've got a couple radio people that live, I think, in Dallas. So we're trying to get some stuff booked. My manager's actually from Fort Worth. So we're working on, I'm hoping by next summer. And then actually Chase Elliott's sister Brittany lives in Oklahoma. And I keep trying to get down there. She's one of my really good friends. And I'm trying to get down there to see her. So we're hoping like next spring, next summer, we're going to get some gigs around there.
Next summer.
Hopefully. I will keep everyone posted.
Keep us posted because we talked about this either last episode or 2 episodes ago, Sherwin, about the states that we visited and stuff. And I think I've flown through Dallas one time. But as a Southerner, I've never been to the state of Texas. Isn't that crazy?
It is a little bit crazy.
And so I believe it's September 20th of this year. Me and the wife just decided we're going to go to Austin. Austin is awesome, and I want to go there. And we're going to. It's funny the way I was about to say it now that I think about it, but we're going to go watch some music.
Yeah, watch music.
Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
So I'm looking forward to our trip to Austin. I will report back on how awesome I know it's going to be.
6th Street's pretty cool.
Yay!
Excellent. Second question. Favorite classic country artists, especially with your focus on lyrics?
Wow, she's got some good questions.
Right.
My favorite classic country, well, obviously like Loretta Lynn, Dottie West, Keith Whitley, Dolly Parton, Lynn Anderson. Actually, she came to one of my first shows in Nashville when I released my first single, and that was like one of the coolest experiences of my life. The DJ introduced me to her, and he's like, "Hey, Lynn Anderson, I'd like you to meet the future of country music." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love you. Your boots are so cute." Like, it was the absolute coolest moment of my life. And it was, I think she passed away about a year and a half after that. So it was an amazing moment to be able to even share like a couple hours with her. It was unreal. So obviously, like, those are some of my favorites. Dolly, obviously. I mean, I'll mention her a million times. She's my absolute idol. Lori Morgan, my producer, is actually working with her, so I'll actually get to meet her, and then her and Keith Whitley's son, Jesse, which is going to be unreal. Hopefully get to do some projects with them, which will be awesome. But I don't know. I mean, classic's got my heart. I mean, I respect what's on radio now. I mean, I think there's room for everybody, but I'm just, I'm a classic country girl at heart. Always will be.
I would say there's room for everybody, but I did turn it over to the country stations in Atlanta. I mean,
suck.
God bless them, but bless their hearts is what we say in the South, right?
They try.
Like, bless their hearts. It's crap.
It's not good.
I turned it over, and I was not happy with. There's 2 stations in Atlanta, and I flipped between the 2, and one of them, y'all, I'm on my trip into work. I'm commuting into work. I say commute. It's like 15 minutes. And I'm like, I wonder what the country station's playing this morning. Hit the radio over, and I screamed in my truck on the way to work. I screamed, "This is country?
Oh, I
what?
imagine.
This isn't
It's not, and
it's not even close."
It's so sad. It's so sad. I'm right there with you. I will say, though, Thomas Rhett, he records in my studio, and he was kind of getting pop for a while. I love Thomas. But he just had a new song come out called Remember You Young. And if you haven't heard it, like, oh my God, amazing song. The production's maybe not super country, but the lyrics tell a story, and it's crazy. It made me remember, like, all my crazy friends that I met back when they were running Iowa Speedway, and they were all, like, running the K&N series and still had braces, and it just puts you back in that, like, where you remember your favorite people and, like, the moments when they were first starting out, and it's an amazing song. Cool. And kind of hearing that makes me have hope that it's not going to stay this top country crap for long. At least I hope not. I pray every night. Every single night.
Sherwin, does Randy Travis count as, like, classic country artist, or is he more like 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he was class of 89, right? Or whatever. Wasn't he one of those guys?
Was he one of them?
It's classic for me.
If he wasn't in the class of 89, one of the things he did that was one of the greatest things that ever happened in music, period, is reuniting the Eagles through a Common Threads album that he produced that got the Eagles back together as all the country music friends of his covered, basically covered the Eagles' greatest hits.
His lyrics, because Sarah was asking about lyrics. The lyrics, to me, and Three Wooden Crosses, I don't think came out till the 2000s even. And that one, look at me get goosebumps right now thinking about just the lyrics to that song and how amazing.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking of Travis Tritt. You said Randy Travis.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally confused that. Sorry, listeners.
And "Whisper My Name" was the song that we played as our first dance at my wedding. So I'm I'm into that. So Randy Travis would be kind of my favorite classic country artist. And Sydney, me and the wife, we go to a different roller coaster park every year for our anniversary because we're wacko like that. And we're going to Dollywood.
That's awesome.
We're going to Dollywood this year.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh. Have you ever been there?
I have been once, but it has been like 15 years. So they've got a bunch of new roller coasters, and I'm real excited.
Oh. Man, I'll tell you what, don't go on the one that has the big eagle on it, because, like, most people, not a lot of people know this about me, but I have, like, a slight kind of heart condition thing that bugs me once in a while, but my family was like, we went there 2 years ago, and they were like, well, you're not part of the family anymore if you don't go on this. It was like the screaming eagle. I don't know. It's, like, scary. But I freaking passed out on that thing. They made me sit in the front by myself, and I woke up, and I was, like, flying backwards into a loop, and then I, like, passed out again and woke up, and, like, man, I got off that thing. I was like, man, y'all are trying to kill me. Like, don't, come on now. So I'll warn you, if you have a weak stomach or you get scared of heights, do not go on that one.
Sherwin, favorite classic country artist, where are you at?
I'm probably going a little bit deeper in there. Waylon Jennings.
There you go.
Excellent lyricist.
I like how we all went lyrics, because Sarah was asking that. Absolutely. So, Sydney, next one from Sarah. Favorite country western dance, and do you do the two-step?
I do the two-step. That's probably my favorite, honestly. I mean, I love line dancing, too. That's fun. But I'm, like, a little too uncoordinated to dance in a group. So I feel like it's easier if I just have one person to lean on. It's a little easier. I'm, like, a really horrible dancer. Like, it's horrible. The only thing I will attempt is, like, the cha-cha slide and this whole, like, I don't know, the boot scoot and boogie. I mean, you got to try that.
Yeah.
Achy breaky heart. I mean, those are, like, you have to at least put in an effort. But when it comes to dancing, I'm usually the one watching and giving a constructive criticism from the audience, because I trip over my own feet. So I try not to really dance a lot.
So that's why I like line dancing, though, because, like, you can just do the basic maneuvers and you will not stand out, positive or negative. You know, you're not popping and locking it in line dancing. And you're also, as long as you've at least got a rhythm enough to, like, do the next move, or you're following along or whatever, you'll be fine. Ain't nobody looking at you. They're looking at the dude that's popping and locking, or the one person who's just, like, totally out on Mars or something, you know, like, what are they dancing to? So I'm cool with line dancing.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's funny you mentioned that. So I taught a whole bunch of people that you can do the electric slide to "I Will Survive," thanks to the replacements where they did it in the prison, or the jail, I should say. But yeah, the beats are all the same. So you can totally do the electric slide to "I Will Survive."
I've got to try that now.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Sydney, from Sarah again, favorite boots, hat, and designers. You just talked about your cute boots that you had on the other day. Tell us about...
Oh, yay, I love this. The first thought, so my top favorite company would be Lucchese. I freaking love all of their stuff. But I also, Unique Boutiques in Hillsborough, North Carolina sponsors me. Shout out to Jeannie, she's awesome. But she has given me a bunch of, like, vintage 1950s, like, custom-made boots and stuff. So I think, I don't know if that really counts as, like, a designer or a brand, but I have a couple pairs from, like, the late 50s, early 60s. And those are, a lot of my boots are vintage. I think I have, like, 2 pairs that aren't. So other than, like, Lucchese, I would have to say, like, I'm a vintage girl all the way. Like, I will dig through thrift stores and all that kind of stuff to find stuff with character. But so that's kind of where I'm at. I love Wrangler. I love all their clothes. Their stuff's super cute. But I'm a vintage girl when it comes to, like, my country outfits. I try to dig through and find the stuff, like, I convinced myself Loretta Lynn might have worn back in the day.
That's cool. I never bought a pair of Lucchese's myself. I've had some Tony Lamas and some Justins and...
I've had Ariats,
Georgia Boot
stuff,
and Ariat. Yeah, those are the ones that I've worn.
And the last one from Sarah. Sarah asks your thoughts regarding Iowa Speedway.
I love Iowa Speedway. I love it. I think cup racing definitely needs to come to Iowa Speedway for one. I think that would be a really cool change in the schedule. Plus, who doesn't love corn? Come on now. There's a silo at turn 3. Like, come on. I feel it's really cool. But Iowa Speedway is amazing. It's where I got to meet, like, all of my best friends and watch their careers start. And that's like, honestly, that's the place that changed my life. I don't know where I would be if I hadn't gotten to sing the national anthem when I was, I think 13 is when I started singing there.
Oh, cool.
And
Holy
literally,
cow.
that's where I met my family and my closest friends. So that place has a very special place in my heart. Always will.
That's awesome. I didn't know about the national anthem thing. That's super cool.
What? You didn't know that? That's crazy. Yeah, I was, I think, 13, 12 or 13. It was when they filmed At Any Price with Zac Efron and Dennis Quaid. So I actually sang the national anthem when they filmed the movie. Zac Efron gave me a standing ovation. That was like the highlight of my entire existence.
I hear you. We've got a great question from Mick Rose at GoDucks42_Mick. I'm going to change this question up a little bit, but I love this question either way.
Creative license, Mick.
Right.
Sorry.
He says, what song would you like to see redone but in a different genre? And the way I'm going to phrase it is, what song has Sydney Lett heard in another genre that you want to sing as a country song?
Yeah.
Oh, man, there was just one I was thinking of. Holy crap, what was it? All right, now I got to go look through my iTunes library because I was driving to Iowa and I was thinking about it. I listened to it and I was thinking of it. Okay, I got to go look now because
no, that's cool.
My brain is like gone. It was definitely not a country song.
Because I'm not listening to country music right now, like on the crappy Atlanta country stations. I'm listening to a lot of like either pop or whatever we're calling alternative these days and whatnot on my way in, and whatever station's really just playing music in the mornings because I hate talk show, or I hate like FM
Kix always
radio
does that
stuff.
FM morning radio
like,
stuff.
Look, we're gonna do this silly stuff.
So, do you have one in your mind already?
But like my current jam, and my wife makes fun of me for this. Wait 1 second, because I know the artist.
So I'm going to tell mine.
Okay, go for it.
It's "Just Give Me a Reason" by Pink.
There you go.
I'd love to hear a country version of that.
Good. So my current jam is "Bad Guy" by Billie Eilish.
Okay,
and that song
I freaking love her.
Yeah, awesome. I really like that song, and the way that it kind of jams. Like as soon as it starts, I start bobbing my head. I'm like, yeah, here we go. Like,
so are we considering
like for her age?
Go ahead.
No, for her age, like she's just super like quirky and cool, and like I don't know, she's just got it. Whatever it is, she's got it. Like, her lyrics are just, I don't know, for a 16-year-old or 17 or however she is. Like,
holy crap! I did not know she's 17 right now. I did not know that she was born in 01.
Yeah, she's young.
That is crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't act like it. It's crazy. Okay, so my song. Okay, so this is like super. I don't know, cliche because it's the NASCAR theme song. I think "Running Down a Dream" would be really cool to do country, like borderline bluegrass, like just kind of like amp it up in a weird way.
Bluegrass. So and with Tom Petty, recently passing and all that stuff.
So is the pre-show on NBC? Is that not what we're seeing? I mean, I think that already exists in a lot of ways.
I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know if she's really considered country. I don't know. I don't know a lot about her. But
you're
maybe
talking about the
bit.
"Running Down a Dream" song.
Yeah, no. So the opener right now, and I know you had told me, Sydney, that you hadn't been able to pay a lot of attention to NASCAR, particularly in the last few weeks. But the precursor,
I'm horrible.
The opening show to the NASCAR Cup Series right now is a female country version of "Running Down the Dream."
There you go.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I think she kind of keeps it a little rock.
It is a little rocky.
I think she totally do it in a different way. Yeah.
I like
the more I listen to it, because I was listening to her version.
I like your idea of like the borderland bluegrass. Like get some fast banjo in there.
Get some banjo in there for sure.
Yeah.
Steel guitar and banjo.
Yeah, definitely steel guitar. Just make it like, I don't know. I was listening to it over and over again. There was another one by Tom Petty, and then there was one by the Steve Miller Band, and I can't remember what the song was. But
Joker?
When it comes to me,
The Joker?
I don't remember what it was. Oh, no, it wasn't the Joker.
I'm a Joker.
Although that is like one
I'm
of
a
Blaney's
smoker.
favorite songs. Maybe I should do that.
I'm
I
a
can pull it off.
midnight toker.
There is another song. Oh, speaking of Blaney, hold on. There was another song. A lot of my friends listen to like, they listen to a lot of like super like metal stuff, which is not me at all. And they're always like, Sydney, cover this song. Sydney, cover this song. Like, I know it's screaming for 3.5 minutes, but go look at the lyrics and, like, then try to sing it. And, like, I mean, I'm not that person, but always, like, Killswitch Engage is one that, like, they just keep having me. Like,
Yes.
go listen to it. Go make it country. So if you haven't heard that song, it's definitely the lyrics in it. The acoustic version is easier to pull the lyrics out of, but the rock version is, like, I appreciate that music and love it. It's not my first pick, but it's still super cool. But that's another one that I think would be really cool to do. And I mean, I'll take everything to a ballad, though. That's my problem. Like, if I redo a song, I want it to be, like, super stripped down and, like, borderline heartbreaking. And I don't know if that's just, like, the country in me or, like, what is wrong with me with that. But I don't know. That's how I take my, I don't know, redoing songs.
There's nothing wrong with moving emotion when you're creating music. And on that note, I would say there are several songs that Linkin Park did that I think could be converted into country.
Ooh, yeah.
Particularly the tribute to what was the lead singer for Soundgarden's name? It eludes me right now. Chris Cornell.
Cornell, yeah.
And obviously, hats off again because we've lost the lead singer of Linkin Park very recently as well. But that slow song that he did, I thought was really cool.
You know what? I think there's a lot of opportunity there. There was what was it? It had to be 10 years ago now that ZZ Top did. It was 24 Lighters, which was a total hip hop rap song that they just took and made their own thing, and it was incredible what ZZ Top did.
ZZ topped it up.
Oh my gosh, it's the most unbelievable. Y'all got to go look that up. Look up 24 Lighters, or I Gots to Get Paid. That's actually what the original song was called. 24 Lighters. The ZZ Top song is I Gots to Get Paid, and it sounds like a song that was made for ZZ Top. But then, you know, if you go listen to the rap song and you're like, wow, that's so different that it's amazing that they heard that song and then went, you know what, we can do that. And they made it so different.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Billy Gibbons.
Yeah. So I know we're running
I'm going to look that up.
We're running low on time with you, Sydney. One thing I wanted to bring up, this is in our report card, and I haven't played the report card sound yet, but this week, Tony Stewart punched a heckler in the face. So there was this heckler who was giving him ish about, like, hey, you came to the track and you ran one lap. And Tony's like, I blew up the motor, man. What do you want? And the guy just starts giving him more and more crap.
And there was a lot of language. So go search for it because we're not going to be able to play it.
Yeah, we're not playing it here. There was a lot of four-letter words with F in them. And then Sherwin put it best. Like, the dude was totally in the clear. He could have gotten away with this heckle. And then he dropped one last thing. Tony ran over to him and just socked him right in the face. And there was no police, or the police were, around somewhere, but they were like, whatever. And the track, from what I read in the report, the track, quote unquote, handled the incident, right? And so it reminded me of like Buzz Aldrin. A few years ago.
Oh, that was so awesome.
He was
getting heckled by someone who said we didn't actually land on the moon, and he smacked that dude.
Oh, he smoked it. It was awesome. So this was in a similar vein in that, like, you're giving ish to a guy who is that prominent and that, he's out there. All he was doing, Smoke was out there just talking with fans and signing stuff, just being a cool guy. And this guy decided to give him all this almighty hell. And Smoke socked him, and the crowd went nuts, like, you get him, Smoke! And they were, get that, blah, 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 blah.
Right, lots of other words we can't say.
Right. So, Sydney, your thoughts on a former NASCAR driver.
Future Hall of
Famer going out there and smoking some dude for talking ish.
I think that's amazing. I think I wish I had the balls to do that because there's been so many times when people have done that to me and I would just either hide on the bus or hide behind the stage and I think it was awesome. I watched the video several times. Stand up for who you are and stand up for what you're doing. If you don't, no one will. And I think Tony's badass. I love him. I think he's a great dude. I know he gets a lot of controversy, but he's not afraid to stand up for who he is. And I think it's awesome. It was also funny. So somebody, and I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say that I know who it is, tried to send me a giant life-size cardboard cutout of Chase Elliott. I wonder who that was. And they ended up accidentally putting Tony in the box. So I have like a giant cardboard cutout of Tony, and so I feel like I've spent a lot of time with him now. To where like I think the dude's awesome. Like go Tony Stewart.
Well, here's the thing: is
it's really weird.
Well, so what's funny is I got a text from one of our buddies who pays a lot of attention to what we're doing with this podcast stuff, and he said, "Did you see the fireworks with Tony Stewart?" And I said, "Did he have another one of those bottle rocket wars that's awesome?" And he goes, "Kinda." And then he sent me the link, and I go, "Oh, okay." Yeah. And I'm like, who on what planet thinks that you can talk shit to Tony Stewart and not get hit in the face?
Right. And as far as Tony knows, this guy could be some Muay Thai champion or something, But, hey, I'm a redneck. I'm going to stand up for my deal. And he knew, I'm getting in a fight now. This is what's going to happen. And, boy, that was, if that don't charge you up and get you excited, I don't know what can. I love that stuff. So,
I'm right there with you.
Sydney, you have been so generous with everything with us, and generous with your music, generous with your friendship, and generous with your time tonight. We want to be respectful of making sure you get out on time and hang out with the fam and everything. Tell your mama we said hey.
You guys are awesome.
Tell your mama we said hey. And tell everybody what's coming up next and where they can find you.
Awesome. Well, I wish I knew what was coming up next. I forgot my planner, so I'm just kind of flying blind here. So check out my Facebook and my Instagram and my Twitter for that. Will be posted shortly. I'm on @SydneyLett on Instagram and Twitter, and Sydney Lett on Facebook. Y'all can check me out on there, and I post way too much. I mean, I'll warn you if you followed me or have followed me or unfollowed me because of it, you will know.
Well, I looked on my Skype history, and it said, y'all last chatted a year ago, and it will not be, Sherwin, we are pledging today. It's not going to be another year.
No, it won't.
Before this happens. Now, one thing we require before you leave, we'll be breaking down, or we'll be gassing it up in a moment, but give us a pick for Watkins Glen this weekend. We want to hear what you got.
Just the cup.
I think Chase Elliott's going to take it. I mean, he's had good luck at that track, and I know he's definitely feeling his confidence lately, so I think I'm going to put my money on Chase. I think he's got it.
Love it. Love it. Great pick, and great talking with you, Sydney. This has been awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Awesome. Of course, always. I love you guys. Y'all are my brothers. You stuck with me now.
We love you, too, and we can't wait till the next time, and you know what? Next time you're in Atlanta, try to send that text again, and hopefully we'll get it.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I'll plan a trip. It's only like 4 hours. So I might just get bored one day and just drive out and see y'all. We can do a live show.
Come on down. We'll be here.
That would be cool. I'll be in touch, Sydney.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Sounds great. Love you guys.
Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sydney Lett, how cool is she? How much fun is it to hang out? I don't know what to say.
I don't know that there
Sherman's at a loss for words.
I don't know that there's anything to say.
I get it.
I mean, you know you're going to get an excellent, content show when you have Sydney, because she just has so much to say, and because we do our show like this with the long form, you're like, well, you just let her talk as long as she wants. And you're going to find the road that diverged, and you're going to end up over there for a while, and because of that, we didn't get to all the stuff that we necessarily wanted to ask her, but we do have more content to dive through.
Yeah, stick with us for the next 15 minutes or so, and we're going to try to get through tearing it down. Y'all know what the deal is. Sherwin, first period, Hamlin wins at Pocono. I know we're both not exactly Hamlin fans, we'll put it lightly, but entertaining race either way, I thought.
I did too. I really did think it was a good race.
And here's the interesting thing. So Matt DiBenedetto responded over the top to Jeff Gluck's poll and was like, what are the factors in this thing? Is it late race caution that we get the green, white, checkered? Should we just always, throw a competition caution with 2 to go or whatever? I'm not sure I agree with that. I would say the PJ1 was one thing, or VHS.
It's PJ1 now.
PJ1 stuff. Yep. That created multiple lanes that might not have been there before. Denny Hamlin said it. I don't know if other folks said it.
Larson was cruising in that stuff.
Right. And that's what Larson does, right? There was cautions, playoff contention,
Playoffs.
Like we're 6 weeks ago, because we're kind of comparing this to the last time Pocono ran, which was only like 6 weeks ago. But we're 6 weeks closer to playoff stuff. So maybe there's something there. Is there other stuff, Sherwin, that made this? I believe. And here's the thing, y'all. We already talked about it. Next year, Pocono, it's on like Donkey Kong.
It's on.
And they just announced everything, and
like
it's going to
Kong.
be. Oh my gosh, it's going to be ridiculous.
700 miles of cup racing, 350 each day. We're going to get a 200-mile trucks race, which is 50 miles longer than what we saw on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get a 225-mile-an-hour Xfinity race.
Right.
And
so the point is, we're excited about Pocono, but we had I would say a snoozer. I'll be blunt. I don't care. We're on this podcast deal. Of a race last time, and this time we got a barn burner, if you will.
I agree with you. I don't know if it's the PJ1 that caused it or if it's the proximity to making the playoffs.
And we had a bit of a fuel mileage race, too.
We had a little bit of fuel mileage stuff happen just based on the way the cautions fell. If we could see this race at Pocono every time we go there, I don't think anybody would ever bitch about Pocono.
Right. Radio style broadcast. I thought that was fantastic. There goes the goosebumps again.
They've crushed it on that deal.
Mike Baglia and the rest of the
Jeff
crew.
And Dale being all over the place.
Yeah,
around the
Jeff
track.
over there, Dale over there, and them cutting to each of them and doing that. Golly, that was cool. I understand it won't work everywhere, but radio style broadcast, I'm in. Right.
Well, just mix it up every now and again, and keep things. I think that's one of the things that NBC did so well last year is they just kind of mix it up every now and again.
Yeah.
So we're going to do something a little different this time. How about that?
And Eric Jones with a second place finish, so big boost for his team there.
Yeah, good call by you.
You know what? I looked back at our picks. And we'll talk about it in a minute. But
we got plenty to go before we get to picks.
When I look back, here's the thing, y'all. Normally, when I get to the PTM podcast studio, the first drink that I have is the one that I pour to start the podcast. That'll be the first drink of the night. And just so that, I can get everything down and I can do the show notes and I can get all the techno crap set up. Well, last week, it was not the first drink that I had. And so I looked back and I was like, I picked Eric Jones. I mean, it's not that I blacked out or anything. It was just that, like, boy, that was a random pick, Rusty. And then he gets second, and I'm like, wow.
You went for it, man.
You know what? Maybe I should be doing this more often. Anyway, cool boost for that team. Second period, Sherwin. Jimmie Johnson.
Jimmy's Johnson?
Switching crew chiefs. Cliff Daniels, 31 years old, is going to be, 31 to a 44-year-old driver. Obviously Hendrick is going to, bolster this in their press releases and all that stuff and say, he's been with us 5 years. He's been doing a lot of stuff. He's really intimate with the knowledge on the team and blah, blah, blah. But really, my question is this a Hail Mary or is this like a strategy thing? So Jimmy is 5 races before the playoffs. Everybody is. Jimmy's 12 points behind. His last few finishes were in the 30s, except for this past weekend. He finished 15th. What does this mean? Like I said, is it a Hail Mary or is this like a strategy move?
I don't think it's a Hail Mary because Cliff Daniels was on the crew chief glide path already. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy really liked him when he was an engineer on his team. And they moved him back just a few races ago. And Jimmy expressed his positive feeling about the energy that he brought to the team. So, reading after the fact, I don't think this is a huge shock. I don't think it's a Hail Mary.
Okay.
I think this is the future of Jimmie Johnson and the 48 team. However long Jimmie Johnson decides to drive that car is a whole different animal altogether.
Sure. So, yeah, I didn't have an answer to this, but I think you've convinced me. We talked about Tony Stewart. That was third period. Fourth period, Ross Chastain again. How many times do we get to talk about Ross Chastain, dude?
I hope about 17 more, but I know there's only going to be about 11 opportunities. But, win number 4, I love the fact that they're defiant in their willingness to leave the sticker on the truck that was what's the word? Disallowed.
Yeah, yeah. Just kind of that spit in the face sort of deal.
Look, we got 4 checker flags, y'all. But you know what's great about it? He's second in points now, thanks to that win, and that is supremely cool.
And the best watermelon spike yet, perhaps.
Oh, that thing broke like
double pump on the start finish.
It broke like a firecracker. Do you see how it just shot perfectly in like 8 or 9 different points, like symmetrically, and just went everywhere?
If you had to pick a trucks champion right now, are you a moron if you don't pick Ross Chastain?
I don't know how you could pick against him.
Right.
Until we see more evidence to suggest that it's not possible.
Right.
Because we've seen everything we need to say that it is possible.
Mm-hmm. Fifth period from NASCAR man _RR on Twitter. 25 years ago today, the very first exhibition race for the Truck Series. It was a 20-lap event in Mesa Marin, and P.J. Jones won. So happy birthday,
P.J. Jones.
25th. Yeah, P.J. Jones.
I believe he drove an IndyCar a little bit,
Is that
too.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, multi-discipline feller right there. 20-lap event at Mesa Marin. I got to look up Mesa Marin Speedway and see how long that track is.
Mesa Marin, that's got to be in like California or Arizona or something, right? With Mesa in the title.
Raceway. I'm going to look real quick.
So we're looking up on Google. We're doing Google stuff.
It's not around anymore, but it's California.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It was California.
Yeah, half-mile paved oval racetrack. So that was a 10-mile race. Well, it was an exhibition thing, but I mean that's pretty cool.
It was a multi-car practice.
Funny thing is, at that same night was Kevin Harvick's first NASCAR appearance. He made his debut in the 100-lap Southwest Tour race. He finished DFL.
Was that at Kern Speedway or was that?
No, Mesa Marin.
Same racetrack.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, that'll happen sometime.
He's made a little bit of progress since then.
He has made slightly, 47 Cup race progress since then.
That's right. Recess time for the ladies. Since we've been focusing on them this podcast. Shannon Spake, dude, competed in her 5th Ironman over the weekend. 5th Ironman, 43 years old. And it's a 1.2 mile swim. This Ironman was 1.2 mile swim, which, I mean, I'm not sure I could do the 0.2 part. And I'm pretty buoyant, as it turns out. Right?
A 1.2 mile swim is a long damn
ways. God. And then after that, 56-mile bike ride. I'm pretty sure I've done like 5 in one sitting in my life. Followed by a half marathon.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's ridiculous. Who does this stuff? She's 43 years old, mother of twin 9-year-old boys, and obviously, NASCAR on Fox's TV host and doing this stuff. Sure, when she's 43, we talked about how I had my 37th birthday a few weeks ago. I'm not sure that in 6 years, if I started training today, if I could do any of that, any one of those things. I'm not sure I could swim 1.2 miles or bike 56 or run a half a marathon, but she did all 3 in a row. Like, good Lord.
And she, the rhetoric inside the stuff that I read was that she got off the bike and like she was cramping very significantly in the abdomen area, and she's like, I don't know how I'm going to run 13.1 miles, but I'm going to start it.
You know what?
And we'll see what happens.
How do you eat an elephant, as they say?
One bite at a time.
That's right. So there it is. That's the.
She impresses me so much, and we just want to shout out the ladies in racing that really kick some serious ass.
Right. Another Ask PETM question. So that's it for the old teardown. Laughlin at Matthew Todd 04, and he's been hanging out with us quite a bit on the Twitter and everything. How quickly does Eric Jones or Matt DiBurrito get picked up if Christopher Bell gets one of their rides? None of this may happen, and I hope it doesn't. Eric and Matt are talent proven in the Cup level, but Bell makes a pretty darn strong case. Laughlin / Matthew Todd, I think you have hit both the sides of that scale that I don't know what to say in terms of Eric Jones, Matt DiBurrito. I think they're plenty safe in picking up something.
I don't think either one of them are going to lose their jobs. And I've been very defiant about this because of the way you put together the math and what you see happening with sponsorship and, you know, and the way the teams operate.
But what do you do if you're Christopher Bell at this point? So I think this is the crux of the issue.
You're hoping like hell somebody announces late in the season that they're retiring, that's getting out of a good car, which isn't going to happen because the people that would be scheduled to get out of cars because of age are Hall of Famers, which means they would be announcing like when Junior did, like in early April.
Right.
If not earlier, that this is my last ride.
And so I think the only person to be worried right now is actually Coach Gibbs, because I don't know what his
Toyota. I mean, TRD. They're the ones paying for Christopher Bell right now. People don't realize that, you know, all that sponsorship that's all Joe Gibbs stuff. Who's paying for Christopher Bell to be in that ride is TRD, and so it's a matter of can they figure out what to do with him, a la what they did with Eric Jones when they created a second car at Furniture Row. I don't know that anybody's in a position to do that. Perhaps LFR is, because Bob Levine definitely wants to be the next Barney Visser. We talked about that before. But they're not even doing all that well with the one car. I mean, when they created the second car for Eric Jones at Furniture Row, Martin Truex was already kicking everybody's ass.
Well, and Bob Levine is the greatest Twitter
he is fun on Twitter. I love it.
With that, it's time for the new follower shout out. Haley Shanley at Speed Shift Haley, reporter and host for Speed Shift TV, and she has her feet firmly entrenched in the dirt racing community. So thank you, Haley, for following along. And Sherwin, we've got one more.
We do. Sarah Gluck, at Sarah M. Gluck, child life specialist, mother to Liliana Gluck, and happens to be wife of the guy we had on the show last week, Mr. Jeff Gluck.
As it turns out. So good on her. You know what? Two of those things outweigh the other, probably. But, so much fun. Thank you, Sarah, for following along. And with that, Sherwin, it's time to gas it up.
Boom.
Watkins Glen.
Love Watkins Glen.
You know what? I meant to
Might be my favorite racetrack.
I meant to ask Sydney if she's been, and if she hasn't, is that like a bucket list track, or what her story is around Watkins Glen? I'm guessing she hasn't been there, and I'm guessing it's a I want to go very soon track. Sherwin's going to text her right now. It looks like, y'all, for the last 6 or 8 weeks, maybe 8 or 10 weeks, I have Grand Theft stolen the
Grand Theft.
Right. The segment about, talking about where we're going and what there is to do there and whatever else from our friends over at MOATF. And I kept saying, as soon as they come back, I will stop stealing their content and go back to our own. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce.
You reneging on that?
No, I'm not reneging. I'm done with that segment. MOATF is back.
We're gonna retire it.
Y'all need to go listen to MOATF. They're back.
For sure.
They're talking about everything. Now, they didn't do a segment on, what there is at Watkins Glen. So, David, I'm expecting you to, give us
Step your game back up, buddy.
Right. Step it back up. Tell us what's going on. But they're back, and they are as awesome as always, and love the UK perspective of what's going on in racing. So welcome back to the scene, MOATF. I'm super excited. Sherwin told me about it, and I immediately went and listened to the whole podcast, which means tomorrow morning on my way into work, I don't have anything to listen to, so I'm going to be listening to like crappy country music again. So with that,
damn,
Sherwin, I think it's time to do some picks. I have not lined up Junior for the picks soundtrack here. Blah, blah, blah. Here it is.
Drivers, start your engine!
There's Junior.
There it is.
By the way, he had Chase Elliott on his podcast this week.
By God.
Yeah, it was good. It was real good.
Sydney, speaking of, did pick Chase. I went with Eric Jones, like I said, in kind of like a gray out moment somehow, and it worked out well. Sherwin, you picked Blaney. He finished top 10, or he finished 10th. So everybody, Gluck picked Kyle Busch, who finished 9th, and Kyle, objectively, I think had the best car all week or all day on Sunday.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so, but he still finished 9th. We were top 10 among all three of us. So
it's not a bad day.
Good on us. Yeah.
I mean, if we were a fantasy group, we would have made some points.
That's right.
There, right there.
But I won. So sure, you get to go first. Who are you picking for Watkins Glen? And don't pick the guy that I'm about to say because, damn it, I want to pick him.
Right. Well, so I've been thinking on this, probably since we started. I didn't really think on it earlier in the day, and I'm dragging it out. But I think who I'm going to go with is Brad Keselowski, and he's just so good there.
I like that pick, and you're right about being good there. And you did not pick my pick, who is Clint Boyer.
There you go. Clint's good at road courses.
Sir. It's time for SHR to double down in that. 2 and 3 weeks.
I would be very happy for you to beat me this week as long as he finishes first.
Yeah. If we go 1-2 on this,
as it's been well chronicled on the Twitter, Clint Boyer's radio is who I listen to. To me, it's the most entertaining. He's not my absolute favorite driver, but to me, it's the most entertaining radio.
Yeah, no doubt. With the two personalities on either end of that whole ordeal, holy crap. So, Spotter Brett and Clint Boyer. Sherwin, it is time to pretty much get this thing, whatever we call it, start. I was going to say
wrapping her up.
Wrap it up. Make it happen.
We did all the stuff we were supposed to do.
That's right. We checked all the boxes. We did all the things.
Yeah, we checked all the boxes.
Time to give it up. Thank you, everybody, for listening and hanging out. And thank you, Sydney Lett, for joining us and for the song and
giving
everything.
Us a little extra time for sure.
Yeah, you're going to hear her voice in a moment. And MOATF, welcome back. And as always, make sure you're following along with our buddy Brandon over at Lap Traffic, at Lap Traffic PC. Be sure to listen in to Lap Traffic Podcast as well. So, Sherwin, you know what the deal is. Here, let me do this.
All right, hold on a sec real quick. I want y'all to go follow Toby Christie. He's been posting our podcast with a bunch of other people on his page. He does a very J-Ski style information page as well as having a podcast page with all of the awesome fan-based and professional podcasts are all in the same place. It's easy to get it. You can stream it right from his website.
Well, y'all know what the deal is. It's time to shut this thing down. As always, you know where to find us at PTM Podcast, ptmpodcast.com, and on Twitter and everywhere else things happen. Be sure to check us out on iTunes. Give us a little rating. Give us the old 5 rating if you like it, or give us the old 1 if you hated everything that happened, and we'll definitely take your feedback. But with that, as always, I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace at Tailgate Mayor on the Twitter. Sherwin.
And I'm Andrew Sherwin at Pregame Engineer and Andrew L. Sherwin on Instagram.
And we will talk to y'all next week. It's going to be a good time. I think we've got a Wednesday show coming up next week, Sherwin.
Yes, we do. That's what we're shooting for. Mr. Rick Houston of the Scene Vault Podcast.
Oh, man. What he's doing is so cool. I can't wait to talk to Rick again.
We are NASCAR.
We are NASCAR.
Woo! Give me 2 Ric Flairs and a double clap. Woo! Woo!
Awesome. There it is. That took us an hour and 10 minutes, but that's how long it might take sometimes.
Whoopsies.
You know what? I'm going to... So at the very beginning, Sydney said something, and I want to see how it sounds. Here we go.
Yay.
Yep, we're doing the yay. All right. Good deal. Good deal. We're exporting that right now to an MP3 file that I will soon upload to our whole ordeal. Y'all, I hope you've had fun. Sherwin, keep the folks entertained while I do
Rusty's got work to do. So let's all have a drink. I think I got something to drink over here. Y'all got something to drink. I got some cherries to eat over here with the moonshine. And if y'all don't know who Rick Houston is, he used to write for the NASCAR scene and when it was the Winston Cup scene. And he does a podcast with his former boss, Steve Wade. And they have just announced that they are going to put everything they've got in their newspaper archive online, which is cool because at some point that will be available to everyone.
And he's a NASA expert.
And he's an he's a NASCAR or a NASCAR and a NASA junkie. He loves them both. He's written books about both, multiple books about both. And so we've loved having him. This will be, I think, his third time being on, and he'll be talking about what they're doing with their online stuff.
Next week is going to be one of those podcasts where you get to think a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to put the thinking cap on a little bit because that's gonna happen because we're gonna have 3 nerds on at the same time.
I like the way you say that. We're going to have 3 nerds on all at once. Looking forward to that. Sherwin, I got to pee. So
that'll happen. So I'll cover
the folks
I'll cover
entertained.
While I'm eating all these cherries and turning my fingers pink. I probably should eat less of them. It's okay, though. You guys, we're working up a pretty good schedule for y'all going forward in terms of guests. I got a lineup that I think is going to be pretty sweet. But Rick is Houston. I implore you to go look at the Scene Vault podcast. They have their own Twitter. It's at the Scene Vault. It's very impressive, the interviews that Rick has done in the past, and it goes all the way from Alan Kulwicki to Dale Earnhardt Jr. They have amassed a tremendous amount of content. And on that note, definitely go check out Dale Jr.'s show yesterday with Chase Elliott. And, of course, we always support our friends over at Door Bumper Clear. For sure do that. And tonight, our friend at Lap Traffic, Brandon, has already posted his latest show. So go check that out, too. That's definitely worth your time.
Woo! We're back.
And Rusty's back.
That's right. Let's see how we're doing on the... all right, we're encoding or exporting the file.
We are encoding.
Sounds like we got about a minute left to do that. And then we'll start uploading it, and then it'll be on iTunes and everywhere else where you can find podcasts.
Yeah, and so everybody that's listening, that has heard us talk about Rick from the scene, it used to be a bi-weekly newspaper-type magazine, very somewhere in between what a newspaper looks like and what a magazine looks like, but it was singularly focused on NASCAR, so that's why they call it a magazine. But that's where Jeff Gluck started. He started at the scene when it was NASCAR scene after its 3rd or 4th evolution from the different sponsors and whatnot. And that's what spawned his career. So, and now we get Jeff Gluck. We get Jeff Gluck on The Athletic, and it's awesome. And we have all these podcasts we can listen to, and he's obviously very good at what he does. He's very interested in what he does. And everybody has to start somewhere. And the scene gave him his platform, his, diving board, if you will.
Yep. That's super cool. Let's see. 206. Uploading.
Woo!
We'll use
trying to stick this thing up on the internet so y'all can listen.
That's right. Well, the folks who are on here are listening. You got some text and stuff, Sherman? What's going on?
No, just that it's on her bucket list and that she wants to go. And I'm like, all right, we're on the same page.
Yep. We're all in the same lane here.
I want to say we need to coordinate and go the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Because us too.
It's incredible what they've what they've done.
Well, just the interviews by themselves. I mean,
yes.
Holy cow. I mean, there was a 3-parter with Bill Elliott, I think, that was just absolutely awesome. I mean, everybody's been on it.
Well, we talked about it where we went back to Eldora, and he had, was that NASCAR Scene Magazine or whatever that he had? Or what was the...
Oh, that was the dude that was friends with...
Steve was his name.
Yeah, it's not the same guy, but...
Right, it's not the same guy.
But yeah, he had like a whole trunk full of them.
Right, and I believe Rick contacted him at one point.
Yeah, I think he's
his archive.
I think he's the one that ended up with all those magazines.
And he had the one from the '79 Daytona 500 and stuff.
Right,
the real stuff,
some real serious stuff.
And if you looked because we were poring over it, and every week from 79 through 85, you're just looking through them going, this is gold. I don't have enough time to read this. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Remember he had that badass El Camino too?
Oh, yeah. It was a Ranchero.
That's right. You're right. It was a Ranchero.
Yeah. Because it was specifically not a Camino, because everybody asked him about his Camino.
Right.
And he's
sorry about that, everybody.
No. That's it's super cool. That's so much fun. Yeah, Beast says that he uses Google Podcasts or Google Play or whatever, gives the option to adjust the playback speed. So Apple does the same thing. You just have to hit that 1X button that's down there.
Oh yeah, it's right under the play bar.
I was listening to a podcast on the way home from the lake 2 weekends ago, and my wife told me, she goes, I really like this podcast, but boy, playing it at that 1.5 speed is killing me. I'm like, you got to keep up. You got to, and that. So, point is, that's the only way I listen to podcasts now. You got to listen.
I can't listen to it real time.
Speed. Yeah,
it's not okay.
Yeah. So,
especially us, we're so slow that you have to listen to.
Hey, we're Southern slow, baby. That's the way we do it.
Yeah, I mean, some people are fast, and you're like, shit, I got to slow this down.
Right.
But most people are relatively slow on radio style mic.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not, if you're not well trained in doing on air radio, you tend to speak the same way you would speak in person, which is, it's the cadence is pretty slow.
Let's see. Feedburner.com, burner.com /
So Sydney says, yes, that would be awesome if we coordinated attendance.
Sweet.
Of course it would.
Of course it would. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
I'll see if I can pull some strings and sing the anthem and snag us hot passes. She's so awesome.
How cool is Sydney? It's fun. We don't expect anything. We're just having fun out here doing our thing. Let's see if PTM Podcasts, library.
We've actually been able to score our own hot passes just through our relationship with Atlanta.
There it is. We are on iTunes and Google Play and everywhere else that you can find us now. So that is that. Now I just have to edit the main page and do it on Twitter, and that'll be it.
Do it on the old Twitter?
Yep. We're doing our thing. I'm editing the main page. If y'all go to ptmpodcast.com right now, y'all, right now, go there, and you'll see last week's episode up. That's old hat now. Time for new
old hat.
Yep. So the latest is July 30th. I'm editing HTML right now. I'm freaking.
How the hell is it already July 30th? Is all I have to say.
Well,
getting old is as they say. Whoops, rhymes with witch.
Yeah.
Time seems to fly.
That'll happen, as it turns out. So no Jeff Gluck anymore. That was last week, and we'll copy in.
I'll make sure I leave you some.
No, you're good. Turns out that the Jim Beam Distillery makes more of that.
Oh, that's good.
So all good. And then let's put the old widget in there, as they call it. And
widget.
Let's see, where is it? Oh, there it is. The iframe deal/iframe. If I copy that and paste it in there, update the page. That should be ptmpodcast.com. If y'all were following along right there, go ahead and hit refresh on your browser, and you'll see that the latest episode is already up. Another PhD ceremony. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, wow. Look at
Sydney's
that. Roger
PhD.
posted us a pretty interesting piece of trivia.
Is that so?
Vivica A. Fox and Jurgen Klinsmann were born on this day in 1964.
Huh. How about that? I'll be darned.
Vivica A. Fox used to be a fox for sure.
PTM.podbean.com. Go in there, share that, copy the link, and put it on the Twitter. So, new Twitter interface. I can't even figure out how to.
It's fucking whoops. Sorry. At least we're on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know how not happy I am with it.
Once again,
everybody knows now.
I can deal with everything except the fact that it's hard to, like, when you click
like
something,
it
takes you forward instead of
auto,
and you have to go back and forth and whatnot. It's a bummer.
It doesn't give you the button to say I want to go up. It just auto does it, and it's like, man, that's annoying.
Yeah. So, no, not delete. Pin.
Yeah.
Pin. Delete and pin are too close together. That's horse manure.
That is horse manure.
There it is. Everything is up. All of my, all the things
all
that
of
I
your
have
duties
responsibilities for are done.
All the dishes are done.
That's right. So with
now
that,
we realize that nobody wins a dairy chat.
that is correct, sir. We can close out the notes. We can close out everything else. That scant notes that we have walking into these things. I would love for someone else to look at our notes and try to make a show out of it, because it's so
there's no way anybody could do what we do.
You know what the funny thing is when I bring up the notes now, or not when I bring up the notes, but when I start the show, we are the beginning is so much, I would say, it's scripted at the beginning when we're talking. And, welcome y'all. Woo! This is Pre-Game Engineering Talking About Racing Podcast, episode number, as long as I remember the number, episode number 206. Today is, and then I'll look down at the bottom right of my screen, July 30th, 2019. I'm Talking About Rusty Wallace. I'm in the PTM Podcast studio with Pre-Game Engineering. Sure, what's up, dude? And then that's the next time I need to look at it and go, okay, what do I... Oh, yeah, that's right. And I can close this out. I wonder how far I can get. This podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. You go to patreon.com/PTM. Join the What You Drink Club for as little as $1 a month to get your free koozie. Best part is every cent in 2019, we're once again donating to sponsor drivers. So join the PTM Posse today. Be a part of the sport you love. This week's show brought to you by our official sponsors at the $5 and up per month level. Those are, and then this is when I would need the script again.
Right.
So that is as far as I have memorized, if you will, up to this point. So what are we going to do?
Hey, it's better than me. I mean, hell.
Shoot. Darn. Dag blasted.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time to shut this thing down. I've had an absolute blast, and I'm going to continue having a blast with the rest of this drink right here. So,
yep, let's shut her on down.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out, joining us, and being a part of the sport you love. And we'll talk to y'all next week. It's going to be awesome. Wednesday. Same
time, same bad place.
Same PTM time, same PTM place, and possibly same PTM t-shirts. But we'll see.
You never know.
We'll see y'all then.
I'll watch it between now and then for sure.
You know what? It's a toss-up for me. I might not.
I might wear my Maverick and Goose shirt.
Ooh, nothing wrong with that. We'll see y'all next time.
Since we've got a NASA fan, obviously an aviation fan.
Ooh, I like that. But with that, thanks for hanging out, y'all. See you later.
Appreciate it, y'all.